Welcome to EVE Online. I'm Major Freak, soon to be unsubbed. Had 6 months subscriptions, and I haven't played for, God, almost all of that time. Just been skilling, you know, and keeping my upwells live. But yeah, it's just not attractive to me, and especially since you just spotted the new the drone rules. It's like, yeah. So yeah, anyways, welcome to CCP. Multi-client preview, EVE preview, Evo preview 5.0.1. Quote, Fua was wrong. Yeah, it's kind of awkward when he first came onto my channel and said, well, actually. Okay, so just for the heck of it, and why not, hell not, because he's been so kind to honor me with a version, I'll do a redo of it, because, you know, I gonna give him the benefit of the doubt, and try out his version, compared to, I think, 1.1.8 that I recommend. So let's give his new version a whirl, just to see. The problem I was having was lag when switching between clients. It was disconcerting. So yeah, let's dive right in and show you guys how to set up, how I set it up. There are many ways to set up Evo preview, but my old it was Arcana Noctis. They had a guy who was using Evo preview, and he had thumbnails set in a way I'd never thought of before, and my videos all reflect that from then on in. So do enjoy. Hopefully you'll learn something, and maybe I will too. So let's go look at the first post of this and bring up the instruction manual, because I'll be going through a few of these settings because it's not really clear a lot of the times. Alright, here's the README. By the way, some people have suggested I use there's this program, a third party, that'll expand the windows I have here. They were like, hey, you try this program and it'll expand the borders of this by artificial means, and you won't have to see this ugly thing, which was great, except there were a couple of problems with it. It won't work with Evo preview, and it'll prevent you from doing this, like seeing your taskbar if you needed to switch, you know, to something while you're mining. So it was annoying in that way, and it basically, yeah, I forget the reason why, but it pretty much breaks your Evo preview experience. So yeah, if you were wondering. So here I am. I've got everything set up. Hopefully the wife doesn't wake up in the middle of this and ruins it. I've got my gain set to, just check, 25%, so I'm not yelling in your ear. And let's turn on the I think I've got everything set up properly. No porn visible, yay me. So I'll open this, first time ever. Don't run. Shut up. Here we go, see? So initially it'll be up in this corner by default, and what we want to do is move it. And I normally would, how I normally used to do was I go to overlay and I go show frames, and it'll show this cute little frame, and you can like, whee, you can drag it. Now, when you're doing this, I do remember that when I used to drag it and you were in the login screen, you would end up dragging all your other screens in the same spot, but I don't see it happening right now, so that's kind of cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move them over here. And I usually run with 6 account, but I'm running with 4 today. And what I'm going to do is, there we go, okay? So you're like, hey. No, right, I got 5 of them now, so I'll move this down here. Go, ta-da! Perfect. Let's see, zoom, color, highlight, active. And I think, where is it? We're going to leave all this as is, and if we run into any problems, we will deal with that as we go along. So you get a step-by-step introduction to setting this up. So I've hit frames. I'm going to unclick frames. Now there's a trick that I didn't know, and also it's also good if you preview resolve is on top. This one. There we go. Okay. So, oh, by the way, this is, I've never used IS Boxer. That was the one back in 2010 or 2012 that CCP gave the nod to auto broadcasting. It was just retarded. They should never have done that. But they got rid of it and made IS Boxer illegal, pretty much. People still swear they used IS Boxer legally, but F off. So I've never used it. These are for Omega accounts, by the way. This won't allow you to play multiple Alpha accounts, so give that up right away. The EULA talks about entities, and yeah, this PC is an entity, and you can't play more than one, and if you do, that's illegal. So don't try it, unless you don't really care about the game and don't care about being mad. So, you know, good luck on that. Yeah, my character's like over a decade old, so I don't want to screw around with that. Why would you, right? This is interesting right here. This is what I wanted to point out, because I use macro keyboards for the last couple of years. I was always afraid of it. It's like, whoa, I can't use it. But if you go into escape and you go to, yeah, that's the only problem. Alright, so the shortcuts, the default shortcut for, what is it? Navigation for stop. Where is it? Stop is control space. Now, if you have a macro key that does it for you, that you press it and it'll hit control and space at the same time when you hit like G5, right? Isn't that the same as doing this? Done. You've just made yourself totally illegal. Because by default it's space plus control, and you've just made it just do it with one press of the button, which is the same as hitting G5, which is, yeah. So, as an aside, this is interesting right here, because in order to hit space or G5, I have to have my client active. So, yeah, I'm just gonna roll with that. And there's just so much, like, some idiot's gonna go, oh, I can have like 6 laptops and so yeah, it's hard dealing with trolls and people who just want to abuse the system. So go for it, get banned, see if I care. But yeah, I mean, it is really scary when you're trying to deal with CCP and they're not very clear on things, and they're like, well, we'll ban you if you, and you're like, oh, I don't want to buy a macro keyboard. And if you have a macro keyboard, you're like, oh, I don't want to get banned. So no, I've been using this macro keyboard and the G5 to do control in space forever. It's just, I could map it to another key. It's just, for me, fun to have more keys to press without, you know, screwing up my, because G5, the macro keys, don't do anything unless you tell it to. So why not have more keys to press without worrying about accidentally, you know, making a screenshot or enabling your number lock, or, you know, a number of things, especially because, you know, we all know that when you're pressing that key and you've accidentally got the, you know, you're typing in chat instead of actually doing something, like ordering your drones to attack. And by the way, it is a good idea to know that F is to engage your drones on a target, because you've all been pretty much allowing it to do it automatically against NPCs, and CCP has just announced they are removing that. So yeah, thanks CCP. So here we go. We've got all our clients ready to go. I've got my settings over here, and I'll make sure they're all, previews are all on top, and then you click here and bam, there they are. All right, so of course you don't want your game to be completely occluded. Let's go into game and show you what happens. Now, I used to use the frames to adjust the size. And what I would do, I like to do that all the time. What I will do is go in here, and I would, see, you can't automatically do it, so I'd go overlay, show frames, and then I'd adjust it. Now when you do this, you do it for all clients. Alright, now let's see if we can get track length, location side, preview, unique layout for each client. So let's try that. And we will, I'm pretty sure that it'll adjust all of them, watch. Yeah, see, so that won't, you can't really make different sizes for each, for one, you know, I can't make this a different size, but I'm going to try something, and it probably won't work. I'm going to bring up this, and this is why high previews is really helpful. There is apparently a command prompt you can put in the I think anyways, the configuration only options, and you can actually make one of your clients not disappear when you hide the others. So that's pretty cool. Right here, this is the one party clients. That's pretty cool. I didn't know that until today. So yeah. Now here we go. There is another option in here that I haven't mentioned before, and I didn't realize that I can. It's probably always been there. I just didn't want look. And plus, these are the features of the new edition, and I was using an ancient one. So adjust height, move thumbnail to new position. So I'm gonna try this right here and move the, okay, so thumbnail height. All right, thumbnail height, post right, left, wait, right, left, overlay, get rid of the overlay, show frames. All right, right, left mouse button and up, down, and move the mouse up or down. Oh, okay, so and whoa, hey, trippy. Okay, so it moves everything. So that this is a way of adjusting it without dealing with the frames, because this is going to be really handy actually. Well, actually I can't. How do I move without opening the frames? Whoops. I do move right, okay. So right mouse button and cool. Okay, so what I used to do was I'd show frames and then I'd do all this, yada yada, and I'd move everything around. And the problem is when you do this and you're like, hey, I want it here, or I want it, you know, I want it you're like, cool, and then you're like, okay, I want to get it set up like this and right on, and you get everything sorted, and you're like, okay, cool, and you use this to adjust this, everything gets set, and you're like, okay, I want to do it there and get it really close in, and then you uncheck frames, uncheck frames, and you're like, oh, this big gap is there now. It's because it'll shift up. It's once you get the hang of it, you'll see, but the frames will distort your organization order. So I really like it. So you just go right click and shift. So everything you can do without using the frames, and avoid using frames because it can get annoying when you're trying to make things all like OCD and close together and compact. And I go shift, no, sorry, not shift, but right mouse, left mouse, and then left, right. I like to make it the same proportion. I think that's about it. And I can go up and, ooh, cool. That's really awesome. So there we go. And I'll move, all right, right. I'll move it here. And of course it's just the ability to, and I'll move this up here actually, because why not, right? It does get confusing sometimes. Now then. This is the problem with this really cool thing. This right here, highlight. It's really cool, right? But after a while, after, you know, a number of sessions, I've realized that this started to distort the size of the windows, and they started getting all screwed up. Don't notice as much with the ancient version I'm using, so you might have to deal with that, but now that you can just, you know, I mean, you just adjust the size again, really. It's just getting the OCD out of my system, really. So there you go. I'll log in with my guys. Okay. And as you can see, it's pretty visible. It does have a opacity, and you can get the opacity all the way there, and it's completely clear. I do like the opacity, the transparency to be very, and this is going to be 20%. The minimum is 20%. And you can barely see anything. I do like to get rid of the I do like to get rid of the show overlay because it gets rid of the name tag. Alright, so here we go. So that's how I set it up. Now, when you let's log off. Yeah, I don't want to show you my account names, do I? That'd be silly. But yeah, basically, you'll notice then when you log off and log back in, your thumbnail will be in a certain spot for all your clients. It is a bit annoying at first. You will get the hang of where it appears. You'll need to practice with it a bit. Eventually, you'll be okay. Now you can theoretically move. Right click and move. You can move this down here. There you go. So all your clients will have. Why did it just disappear? Oh, it's really it's yeah. So what we'll do is we'll get the opacity. We'll put it up to opaque, and I'll show you the problems when that happens. So there you go. You got opaque. And sometimes you want to see detail behind it, right? Sometimes. I've got this pretty okay, but you'll see it occludes not only the route destination, but also when you try to get into, say, finance or contracts, it's all blocked out, right? So that's not an ideal situation having them here. So what I'll usually do is move them over here away from that. I've tried other locations, but yeah, and this guy's down here. Now, when you switch to a client, it will all be the same. Now, if you have this guy and you go, I would not suggest this. Maybe if it helps, but for me, I like all my clients together, compact, and not spread out. And I certainly do not want to have this, because this one is completely gobbledygook. So that I'm on this client, Seneche's client, right? And if I go to another client, it's gonna put all my stuff, all of them will have, except Seneche, what I've already set up. Okay? So I go to Seneche, it's all gonna be down here. Okay? So that's how you use that. I do not like this. I never have. I'm gonna unclick this, and I'm gonna move this up here, and I'm gonna click it, and it'll be back to what everything else was. So you can decide to do unique layout for each client to play around, but I wouldn't recommend it. I like having my selected item extremely close to my thumbnails. So when I'm going from system to system, cross my fingers, the next gate is going to be automatically selected. Knock on wood. And therefore all I have to do is click one, click another, and keep moving. And that makes me happy. And as you can see, I can now access all my stuff here. I could probably move it a wee bit over now, like say there. That'll do it, right? So I can do that. I really like the right click and drag. That's awesome. You can totally adjust it without, having to go into overlay and click show overlays and then have to compensate for the squishiness of the frames, as if you do it like this and then you go see it overlaps here, and see, this is a good way to show it. See, it's now taller because it's just shoved in the overlays, and of course the overlay here is hidden by this one, right? So that's how I used to do it, and I know that this top thing will now be here. So of course here, show frames there. So it's much easier for me now just to ignore the frames, because I don't really need it now that I know how to do right mouse and left mouse, or right mouse and move. So that's that. Let's see, what else is there to have fun with? Now, I never use zoom because it's distracting. I found it just really doesn't help me at all. I found while I'm trying to get, okay, I want to get this, and it just like, I want to get this one, or I want to get the other one, but I can't see, so it's really hard to switch between all of them quickly, and it just gets in the way. It would be cool. Now, let's see, zoom factor 8. Well, see? You can totally check out, this would be great for scouting, but at the same time, you can just click them. If you're like, yeah, for me, it's never made any sense to do it, so I just personally don't use it. You can go up to a maximum of 10, apparently. Yeah, this is the main reason I wanted the main version. But the problem was that if I would click in between each one of them, I would get lag. A lot of the times this would just blank out, and it's doing it right. I can totally sense that it's, you see that it does it more often than not, and see, it's just really annoying. It just blanks out and you're like, ugh, and you're checking each client and you're like not realizing that it hasn't switched between clients, and you get confused, and it just drives me up the frickin' wall. But yeah, if the highlight is really, really helpful. It's because sometimes you're like, you click it, and if you don't have this, it can be hard to detect who you're looking at, especially if you're all doing the same thing, like mining or something, or you're all having the same ships. I've got different colors to help me, but yeah, I would highly recommend this. It's great, the ability to just right click and move everything and not worry about it and just have fun. And alright, where are we? It's on your ship. I can't do the fun ones down here because I get copyright, not strikes, but I got copyright notices, and they're usually really annoying. It just means it's just annoying to see them. But sometimes you're like, if you do the really popular ones, like what is it? That's why I don't play these, because sometimes you'll get I think Hotel California one. It was a really cool one, but yeah, they'll actually order you to mute that song, or they won't allow you to play the video at all. So it kind of sucks. But anyways, play another nice song I like. There we go. Alright. And I'll leave that up. No, that's pretty much it. I like a certain... I like them compact, and I think I've got it okay here. I think what I was doing was that I have them here, right there. There you go. And I think I had them bigger, maybe. Right, left click, and then up, down. What's going on? Can't move it? What is going on? Opacity general, high preview is not active. I want to move you, so right, or enlarge you, right, left click. There we go. Alright. Oh, I see, I have to go, oh, okay, because it was the minimum. Huh, too funny. Nope, it's not working. How am I doing this? Okay, what's going on? Right click, left click, up, down, no. Left click, right click, up, okay, there we go. Alright, okay, fair enough. I don't think I had them this size. I definitely had them. Now I had these up here, like I would put them up here. And it's okay when you don't have opacity, but if you're using opacity, it can be kind of annoying. As you can see, it's a bit tricky with the highlight. It tends to screw around with the I don't like space between the two of them. There's a reason for it, I've forgotten it of course, but it's not a good idea to have space in between. Just sometimes you'll like click on something, but yeah, I forget. So let's see, can it switch quickly in between? Let's undock. trying to stress the system is all. So far so good. Let's highlight. Yeah, see? You can totally feel that. Yeah, so it is definitely the highlight that is doing it. Yeah. And because you'll click on it and it'll be like this pause, so it's like very disconcerting. But I guess I can use it without the highlight active. That might help. Nope, here we go. Okay, alright. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, what we're gonna do is we're gonna close this down. And we're gonna open up okay, this is my ancient version without the highlights. As you can see, there is no lag. So Fool was not wrong, neener. But yeah, I mean, I don't believe that I can right click and move. Can I? Right click? Move? No, I can't. So yeah, I would highly recommend 5.0.1. But if that lag was disconcerting for you, know that you can go to the ancient one and you can see it's just it's nothing. There's hardly any of that lag, you know? I mean, literally. It's just, I found it really disconcerting after a while, especially when I was flipping between clients, and my clients tend to fly the same ships, and you can really get confused quick about who's who, and, you know, if you're going quick, you might actually, you know, if you're like, you know, you know what I'm talking about. I don't need to explain basics here of the game when you have multiple clients. You've probably already experienced the frustration, but there you go. That is how Eve can be more fun without having to do it the old way. And this is how I did it the old way. I would minimize them as a lowest freaking go away. Sorry, brain dead. So yeah, I'd do one client like this. Get another client here. And I move it a bit up there. And I could only play, really honestly, just with 4 accounts. And I was like, 4 accounts is just crazy, you know. I used to be playing with 1, and then I discovered the joys of being able to scout my my hauler around. So I just go like this. And what I would do is what you'd have to do is have your overview like over here. So you could see it, but also you'd want to see local, because sometimes you'd have, so this, you'd need to get, yeah, it was just really annoying. I've got local over here now, but if you switch, you see you can't see this. And even if you switch it over here and you've got a lot of clients, it's still kind of hard to see, especially if you're like, you know, when you got 5 clients, you gotta get them like this, and it's like, you can't see local on all your characters, and sometimes it's really important, especially since you can't see any local except 1 when you've got it like this, pretty much. So I had local all the way on the other side, like over here, and you know, I was doing all this fancy stuff so I could have local on, and where do I put the overview, and how can it was just, you know, I'm sure you've tried it if you've had multiple clients. It's maddening to try to get this. I call this cascade, and this is how I used to play. And then Evo Preview came around, and I didn't really know how to use it very well. So what I had is, you can do this. You can have like yeah, it was pretty bizarre. Yeah, I forget how I was doing it, but I had like, yeah, I won't even go there. It'll just be too confusing. I can't even remember how I used to do it. But thankfully the guys from Arcana Noctis had this YouTuber that showed me the way. And it was awesome. Okay, they've got a great carrier tutorial, by the way, in Super tutorial, which is still relevant, kind of. Shouldn't be too obsolete. But yeah, recommend their channel if you're interested in carrier, how to use your fighters properly. Okay, can't think of anything else. Nope, can't. Anyways, yeah. Enjoy your Eve time. My guys are going on subbed in a few days. I had a 6-month, you know, mid-pandemic, and I was like, hey, let's do this. And within a week, I was burnt out. I think it was my wife had quit her job, so I couldn't really record regularly. I think that's one of them. And it was just total burnout after all the crazy stuff CC Beat did to, you know, to be relevant, you know. We want to be relevant. We're going to change everything in the game, even though we promised you we wouldn't remove asset safety and all that stuff. So it's kind of disconcerting, and after a while of running around trying to reorganize my upwells and defend against invasions and worry about all that stuff, because they, you know, they didn't document it at all, I just got fed up with the game, and yeah, I haven't felt the need to play it, really, honestly. It's just hard to get back into the game. So you probably might not see a lot of videos. I need to get my Omnom price index done, though. I'll do that as soon as possible. Since the wife hasn't woken up yet, I'll do that right after this, I guess. Alright, have a good one. See you guys later.